Yes, good evening, everyone. I'm audible to you. Okay, we'll start the session. So before that, let me just revise what we have discussed in our last session, which was on Saturday. Yes. So on that day, we discussed that to design any network, we need five things. What are those five things? First, we require systems. Then we need to connect the systems with the help of the switch. And if the devices or computers are in different places and different network, we have to use additionally router. In addition to the switch, we need a router. Then we need to provide the physical connectivity between the computers that can be done with the help of the cable or Wi-Fi. And the logical connectivity between the computers is provided by using the IP address. Yes. And if you want to operate the computer, you need to have operating system in the computer. So first we started with the operating system. So in Windows, the operating system is two types, client and server. So server OS will have more features. Using that, we can configure the servers which will provide service. So this course MCSE is based on server OS. So with the MCSE, we have to work on domain model. To make domain model, we have to install the service ADDS. So can we do that in the client OS? No. And by using the ADDS, we can make that machine on which we are installing the ADDS as a domain controller. How to do that? Tomorrow we'll see that. Then we can able to control using the domain controller. We can able to control and manage all the users and computer. So this is possible through the server OS, not with the client OS. And then we discuss in the real time, we have different types of machines which will be used like a servers, not our ordinary desktop machines. So those machines are called hardware servers. So in the market, based on the size of the companies, the three types of hardware servers are available. They are, they are what? Lake server, rack server, yes, tower server. Three types of servers are there. So these hardware servers difference is they contain multiple hard disk, multiple RAM, and multiple processor in a single hard disk machine. Okay. So by that, it works very efficiently, effectively, continuously without getting breakdown. But the cost factor will be high. And on that, we can create many multiple machines using the virtualization. So that we have discussed. Then after that, we started the IP addressing. Yes. So we discussed IP version 4, which is divided into 4 octet, 4 octet divided into 5 classes. So we discussed how to remember the range. Yes. The logic I told you. After that, we started with how to remember the range of the class A, class B, class C. Yes, D, E. A, B, and C is used in LAN and WAN, whereas D for multicasting and defense, E for research and development. So how to remember the range, I told you. So here, when you see the IP address, so to identify the IP address, you have to see only first octet. So I repeat, whenever you are seeing the IP address and if anybody asks you that IP belong to which class, so you have to see only first IP octet. First octet IP only you have to see. So if the first octet IP is less than 127 or up to 0 to 127, that is a class A. If the first octet IP is between 128 to 191, that IP will be class B. If the first octet is between 192 to 223, then that is a class C. And then if the first octet IP is between 224 to 239, then that is a class D. If the first octet IP is between 240 to 255, that class C. So out of that, we have to remember A, B, and C only. So this class A, class B, and class C is given in the form of network and host portion. So we understand by seeing the IP address by seeing the first octet. But the machine understands that IP belongs to which class with the help of the subnet mask. So class A, class B, and class C, which is used in LAN and WAN, is represented or given in the form of network and host portion. So class A contain one network, three hosts. Class B, two network, two hosts. Class C, three network, one host. So here network portion shows the IP belong to which class, and host portion shows the IP address of the computer. So for class A means 1, 255 will be one time. Class B means 2, 255 two times. Class C means 3, 255 three times. Okay, so class A is used for have one network, three hosts. Host is for IP address. So for large network, you use class A. Class B for medium size. A small network, less than 255 machine, we have to go for the class C. Okay. So the subnet mask for the class A will be A means 1, 255 one time. Class B means 2, 255 two times. Class C means 3, 3 times 255. So up to this we have discussed on Saturday. Some of you said some little confusion on this. So I said we will be discussing the example. After that you will get a clarity. So today we'll start the session with what? Examples by which you can know the IP address. Okay. So this was the last slide we have discussed. So what is the class A range? 0 to 127. So all the classes, whenever you see the IP address, you have to see only first octet. So if the first octet is between 0 to 127, that is class A. In that classes also, the IPs are being categorized into two types, so private IP, public IP. So I told you on Saturday, private IP means which will be free and which is used in local area network. That is our private network. Whereas the public IP is free. Sorry, private IP is free, which will be used in our local area network or private network. Whereas the public IP is not free. You have to purchase it from the ISP. So internet works on the public IP, that is in the Ghana. Okay, so what is the range of the classes? 0 to 127. So all the IPs will be from 0 to 127 will be class A. So in that, all the IPs from 0 to 127 are public IP except 10 dot. So in class A, whose range is 0 to 127, all IPs from 0 to 127 will be public except 10 dot. 10 dot is a private IP. Rest of them is a public IP. Now class B stands for B here too. So here, two network, two host. Okay. So in the class B, what is the range? 128 to 191. So all the IPs between 128 to 191 will be public IP in class B except 172. So 172 is a private IP. Rest of the IP from 128 to 191 public IP. Then class C means okay. Now we'll see the IPs example. So except in class A 10 dot, all the IPs from 0 to 127 is public. Class B IPs 121 to 191, all IPs are public except 172. 172 is a private IP, except that every IP is public. In class C range 192 to 223, here except 192, all the IPs are public. Okay. Now we'll see the examples. You will get the clarity. So can I start the practical? Can I start the examples by which you can understand when you see the IP, how to identify that IP belong to which class? So network portion shows the IP address. Network portion shows the IP address of the IP address belong to which class. So host portion shows the IP of the device. Network portion shows okay. So network portion shows the IP belong to which class. Host portion shows the IP address of the device. So now let us see the example. Okay, we'll see some examples. After that, I'm quite sure that you will understand. So suppose this is your machine. System 1, system 2. Now they have been connected with the cable. Now will it communicate? No, unless until you assign the IP. So I'm assigning this IP. Now you tell me, immediately you tell me this IP belong to which class. Once you see the IP, you have to see the, yes, that IP belong to which class. So how to know the IP belong to which class? You have to see only the first octet, I said you. You have to see only first octet. So if the first octet is between, if the first octet is between, yes. So whenever you see the IP address, you have to see the first octet of the IP. So if the first octet of the IP is between, if the first octet of the IP, if the first octet of IP is between, yes, 0 to 127, then that IP belong to class A. Then that IP belong to class A. So class A range is 0 to 127. Okay. So we have discussed just now. You have to see only first octet, not the other octet. So the first octet is between 0 to 127 class A. Class A contain how many network? A means one network, 3 hosts. So now subnet mask will come 255 only one time. A means 1. So 255 will be one time. Now will it communicate these two machines? No. In first machine IP is there, but in second machine IP is not there. So what is the rule for communication? Now let us see the rule for the communication. the rule between the communication between the systems. So the first condition is all the network bits should be same and all host bit, sorry, I should not write all. So here the so here for communication between system, all network bit should be same. Any at least one host bit is same. Sorry, at least any means at least one host bit should be different. Then only it will communicate. This is the rule. Okay. So this is the rule. This is the rule. At least any one of the host bits should be different and all network bits should be same when we are not using the router. If we are using the router, if the networks are different also, compulsory we have to use. But we are not going to work on network in MCSE course. So now these two machines will communicate or not, tell me. System 1, system 2 will communicate or not? See the diagram and tell me yes or no. Yes, Sudhir, you are right. It will not communicate because there is no IP. Without IP, can they communicate? No, we already discussed that. Now I have given the IP in the second machine. Now, will it communicate or not? Tell me. Okay. Now I have given the IP in this machine. Now, will it communicate? Yes, Shashank Reddy is correct. They will never communicate. If you give two different machines same IP, what happens? Technically, it is called IP conflict. Like in the same family, can we keep two-person names same in the same family? I'm not saying neighbor or in relative. In your own family, if you're suppose two children are there in your family, both the names for uniqueness you kept the same. What happens if two brothers or sister or brother and sister is there, to both of them, you have kept the same name? What happens practically speaking? Okay. See, I said we know, Vinay, in your family, suppose two persons are there. Will you keep two-person names same? Either two brothers or two sister or one brother, one sister name. Will you keep same? Just imagine if you kept same, what happens? If you keep two-person name same, what happens? Confusion, chaos. So same problem. two different machines should never have same IP. Two different machines always should have different IP, not same IP. Okay, so are you understanding, Vinay? You cannot have two machines, same IP. If you keep, technically it is called IP conflict. Like in our family, we will not keep two person names same. Why? Confusion will arise. So same way here, two different machines should never have same IP. If it is there, they cannot communicate. That is called IP conflict. Now I have to change the IP. So now once you see the IP, you tell me this IP belong to which class. So whatever IP I have given, it belong to which class now? Both the machine IP belong to which class? You have to see the first octet. You have to see only first octet. Yes, this IP belong to class A. Class A contain how many network? One network, three hosts. So what is the rule? All the network should be same. So here, this is your network. This is your host. This is your host. This is your host. Class A, one network, three hosts. So what I said, all the network should be same. All the network portion should be same. Yes, it is same. At least one of the host portion should be different. So here different, here different. Okay, yes, they will communicate. Now they will communicate, yes, because network is same. IP, one of the hosts. That's why I have written here any. For network, all network should be same, but at least one IP should be, at least one host should be different. So IP is different means they will communicate, yes. Now, machine, how it will understand? It will understand with the help of the subnet mask. So 255, how many times? One time. So it will, now it will, what it will do? It will check here. Subnet mask, one time. So class A. Both are class A. So different IP. So they will communicate, yes. IP should not be same. Okay. Now I am giving one different IP. Now this will communicate. So now I am giving on this machine. So suppose this IP. And in this machine, this IP. Now will it communicate or not? First you tell me this IP belong to which class. First you have to see. Once you see the IP, you have to tell IP belong to which class. I told you the rule. Yes, very nice. Then yes, class A. Class A contain one network, three hosts. Okay, yes, we have to see first octet only. Yes, it is a first octet. So now it will communicate or not, you tell me. So yeah, this is two different IP. So can they communicate? No. Compulsory you have to use the router. If you use the router, it can communicate, but without router, they can't communicate. Okay. So it will communicate? No, it will not communicate. Now I'm doing one more IP. Now this IP belong to which class? Tell me. Yes, you have to see only first octet, don't see the second octet. Yes, very nice. Class A. Both the IPs are class A. Now, will it communicate or not? Tell me. It will communicate or not? Yes, it will communicate because networks are same. Host is different. At least one host or all the hosts are different. No problem. All the hosts are different. So they will communicate with each other. Yes. Are you following everyone? How to identify after seeing the IP address? Don't see the second octet or third octet. Just see the first octet. Okay, fine. Now let me take few more examples to make everybody understand. Two systems, cable. Now in this machine, this IP. Now you tell me, first of all, this IP belong to which class? See the IP and tell me, this IP example belong to which class? Yes, very nice. Class B. Class B contain how many network? Two host. So the subnet mask will be 2 time 255. So now the rule is same. The rule is same. Any host should be different. At least one host should be different. And all, all networks should be same. Then only they will communicate. Now, tell me these two machines with this IP, can they communicate or not? Take your own time, see the logic and tell me. Yes, it will communicate. Our friend Muhammad is saying. Now Dayanand is also saying. Yes. Yes, it will not communicate. Only Sudhir answer is right. First two octet should be same. Yes. Aishwarya is also understood. So those who said they will communicate, please remember class B. Here I have written in class B, how many networks are there? Two network. So here, how many networks should be matched? How many networks should be matched? How many octets should be matched? Two octet. So it is matching here. Is it matching? So here, this is class B. This is also class B. But in if the class is same, it doesn't mean they will communicate. The rule is any host portion should be different and all the network should be same. So in class B, how many times? So in class A, only first octet is checked, but in class B, two octet is checked. Yes. How many here? That's why I'm writing what? All networks should be same. All networks should be same and any host portion should be different. Is it clear? Now, let us uh, let us take one more example. Instead of this IP, I am taking this IP. Okay, now just a minute. Sorry, this is 7 and this is 8. Now they will communicate. First of all, you tell me. First of all, you tell me. This belong to which class? Which class? Yes, class B. You don't see the second octet. You see only first octet. So class B. Now, first you have to, whenever you see the IP, first thing you have to see is the first octet. If the first octet is between 0 to 128, sorry, 0 to 127, class A. If the first octet is between 192, sorry, 128 to 191, class B. Third option, third one. If the first octet is between 192 to 223, class C. This you have to understand. Yes, it will. Yes, this is what you have to understand. Very nice. Upsamjum. If you understood this, over. So now here it will communicate, yes, because they belong to same class and it is following the rule. It is following the rule. Network portion R, class B, two networks are same. Two networks are same and host should be different. So it here at least one. So it is different. So will it communicate? Yes, it will communicate. Did you understood everyone this? Okay, let me take one more example now. Okay, now we'll see some more example just to make sure that we understand it, all everybody understand it. Now this is the IP. Now tell me, first you tell me this IP belong to which class? Yes, C, class C. Class C contain how many network? Three network, one host. Subnet mask. Okay, the rule is very simple. The rule is very simple. All network portion should be same and at least one or any one host portion should be different, then only they will communicate. So now, yes, the class C IP. Class C IP means three network, one host. Now here, Yes. Now it will communicate or not? Tell me. It is class C. Very nice. It will not communicate. Your first network is same. So how many networks are there in class? Three. So all the three should be same. So here it is different. At least one of the network is not matching means they will not communicate. Okay. Are you following? So now you tell me, class C, it will communicate? No, it will not communicate because here three networks should be same. Only one network is same. So unless until you don't use the router, they will not communicate. So either in the router I used, is there any cable I connected? No. Yes, very nice. You understood. Now let us take one more example. Instead of this IP, let us take this IP. So just let me write it first. Let me write it first. Then I'll ask the question. Now you tell me this will communicate or not. First example is over. Second example. So you tell me this, it will communicate. Somebody saying yes. So first you tell me this belong to which class? Yes, it is a class C. So now it will communicate. Communicate. No, it is a private IP. It will communicate. This is the public IP. Yes, it will not communicate. Why? All the network should be same. So here, first network is same. First network is same. Second network is same. So there is no problem here. But here, three networks are there, no? So 255 three times. So they are different networks. So if you use the router, they will communicate. If you are not using the network router, they will not communicate. So is it clear to everyone? Is it clear to everyone? So when now you are clear compared to Saturday, whenever you see the IP, how to identify that IP belong to which class? Did you understood now? You have to see only first octet. Okay. So now our next topic is what? Now we know systems, we know network connecting device, switch and hub, router, we know physical connectivity, we know logical connectivity, we know operating system. So now we should be in a position to design the network. So shall we proceed with the designing of the network? That is our today's topic. So designing of the network is called as topology. What it is called? Topology. Technically, in simple word, you can say topology is nothing but designing of the network. So shall we start? Somebody mic is unmuted.
Yeah, actually, it's Shanlim. I have a doubt, Anil.
Yes, please tell me.
You said that 200 comes under class 3, class C, right? Here you have given the IP address 200.240.260.5,
Yes,
and you asked us that these two IP addresses will communicate or not, these two systems.
yes, yes,
But the maximum value in a octet is 255, right? Then how
yes.
can we give this dot 260? It's invalid IP address, no?
No, no. Where I have written 260?
The
It is
uh,
16. No, 16.
260 you wrote. That's
No,
why
no,
I
no.
got
I have
it.
not written 260. Not written. See here. It is 192.
Now
Is
above one, first one, 200.240.260.5 you wrote.
Acha, sorry. Here. It should be, yes, it is 200. I cut it here. It is 200.
Okay, then thank you.
255 above you cannot have. Once you give that, it is an invalid IP. Okay. Okay. So now every batch, what I'm doing just to make sure that we go smoothly as well as without much strain. So after like around 1 hour, if we have a few minutes break, is it fine for everybody? If maximum people agree, we'll have a break. Otherwise, I'll continue. It is not mandatory, but just to concentrate better, focus with less strain, and get refresh after 1 hour. If you can have just a few minutes break, like 5 to 7 minutes break. If it is okay, you can have just a tea or coffee, get relaxed, then again we can concentrate better. So if it is okay, we can have a break. Yes, in every batch, because continuously 2 hours sitting means it may be not fine or not like good every day. So better just to have a this in every batch I'm suggesting, and most of the time people are saying, okay, sir. So if you are also okay, we'll have just a 5 to 7 minutes break. You can have a tea or coffee, get relaxed, then we can concentrate better on the next topic. Is it fine to maximum people? Majority will go. If one saying one yes, another no means can't. Majority will go. I think majority says yes. So we'll have a break. So just get relaxed, 5 to 7 minutes, have a nice tea or coffee, get fresh, then we'll start the next topic, topology. Okay. But please don't write, sir, your voice is not coming. I'll keep my mic in mute position so that there is no disturbance from my end also. Yes, shall we continue? Okay, we'll start now. So our next topic is topology. Now we are going to move towards the topology. Topology means, in technical term, it is a topology. In simple word, you can say that is a topology is a designing or layout or the structure of the network. So we'll start with what? We'll start with the topology. So topology means the layout, or you can say the structure, layout of the structure or designing of the network is called as topology. So we have two types of topology. We have two types of topology. One of them is called physical topology. The other one is called logical topology. Physical topology deals with how the devices are connected. How the devices are connected. Connection of the devices is called as connection of devices is called as physical topology, which we can see. Connection of devices, how the devices are connected. So that is called physical topology, which we can see. So the example, how the devices will be connected, connection of the devices is called physical topology. So how the devices will be connected? So this will be connected using the bus. First came the bus topology, then came the ring topology, then came the mesh topology. After that came the star topology. So most of the companies, or you can say almost all companies, uses which topology to connect the devices is star topology. So we'll be discussing as an administrator how to connect that devices using the star topology. Now come to the logical topology. Logical topology deals with once the devices is connected. So connection of the devices which we can see. So this we can see. Logical topology can't be seen, whereas the physical topology we can see. Now logical topology deals with the transmission of the data in the connected devices, which we can't see, which we can't see, but but can understand, but we can understand with the help of logical topology, with the help of the logical topology. So the transmission of the data in the connected devices, which we can't see, can understand with the help of the logical topology, which consists of logical topology consists of two models. Those two models are work group model, and domain model. So these are the two models we have. So we'll start the session, this part topology part with star topology under physical topology. After that, we will be discussing the today work group model. And tomorrow onwards, we will start the domain model. Okay. Okay. So we will start with the physical topology first. Now we'll start with the physical topology that is related with the connection of the devices. So in the physical topology, most commonly used topology to connect the devices is star topology. Every company uses this only because it is simple to connect and easy to work on, easy to troubleshoot our devices. So that's why here all our systems in every company will be connected using star topology. Suppose you have hundreds of systems. So all these systems will be arranged on the cabin. Different cabins will be there. On the floor, the machines will be there like this. Hundreds of machines are there. So what they will do, they'll take one switch like 64 feet or 128 port. If it is more machines, you will go for another switch, take one cable, connect one end of the cable to one switch, another end of the cable to another switch. So they'll work like a same switch. So this is your switch. Now switch will have the ports. So every LAN card will have every machine will have a LAN card. So from the LAN card, we'll connect the cable to the IO box where the computer is kept. One box will be connected. Like when we go for the construction of the house, the electrician will put the point where they'll give the current. From there, the board will be fixed and we can have multiple devices connected, the television, refrigerator, charging. So same way, wherever the computers will be fixed, there on that cable or the below the cable or near to the cable, there will be one box, IO box. So behind that, when the floor or the cabin is being made ready, the wiring people, the people who do the cabling, those cabling people will take that cable to look neat and tidy. They'll take that cable behind this and they'll arrange all the cables to one switch, which will be kept at one particular place. So this wiring should not be appearing, so it will come behind it. So they'll keep that wiring or cable to that cable, or sorry, that cable to the IO box, and all that cable will be connected to the common switch. So as a person, when you are sitting, just you have to take one end of the cable, which is already connected to IO box, connect the other end to your laptop. Over, it means your computer is connected to the star topology. So every company uses only star topology. Whether I'm clear to everybody? Is it clear to everyone about the star topology? Nothing, just our computer need to connect to the switch. So if one computer get failed, it will not affect the other computer. So in every company, this type of topology is used. Just we have to connect all our computer, wherever it might be, to the switch. That's it. So this is done with the help of the cabling. The people will, like our in the home, the electrician will do that wiring or cabling. So same way, the cabling people will do the cabling. Just they'll put one box below the everybody cabin. Just take the cable, connect to your laptop. It means it is connected to the switch. So they are all in the network. So this type of topology is called star topology under the physical, which we can able to see. Now, once you have connected this, how the data transmission takes place, can we see that? No, but we can understand with the help of logical topology. So logical topologies consist of how many models? Two models are there. What are they? Work group model and domain model. So in the companies, which model will be used? Only domain. But we should have idea about work group model. What is work group model? Why it is not used in the company? Then you can go for the domain model, which will start tomorrow. So today we'll discuss only work group model. So today we'll have only one small short practical. Tomorrow onwards, we will have lengthy and multiple practicals. So if it is up to this, if it is clear, please tell me. We'll start the work group model. Or if you have any question, any doubt, before I move to the next topic, please ask. Okay, so I'll go to the next topic then. Okay, now we'll move to the logical topology, which consists of two models, right? Work model and domain model. Work group model is also called as peer-to-peer model. Work group model is called as peer-to-peer model, and domain model is called as client-server model. So work group model, there will be no server, no client. All computer will be independent. That's why it is called peer-to-peer, one-to-one. In that, there will be no server, no client. Whereas the domain model, compulsory one server has to be there and client. So now we'll focus on work group model today. So work group model is also called as peer-to-peer, one-to-one. So here, one computer will not have any control over the other computer. So if from one computer, if you are creating a user in the work group model, so who will create the work group model? No one will create. So in Windows, okay, I'll repeat once again. I hope there is no disturbance from my end. Okay, I'll repeat. So I said, now I'm starting work group model. So I said in the work group model, there will be no server, no client. All computers are independent. That's why it is called as peer-to-peer, one-to-one. I have not said much about it. Now I'm explaining it. Can I go it? Yes. Okay. So now who will create the work group model? They may ask. So who will create the work group model? So what will be the answer? No one will create. By default, all the computers in Windows will be in workgroup model. So please tell me in Windows, how many types of OS will I have? This point we have discussed yesterday. Sorry, day before yesterday. How many types of operating system we have in Windows? Very nice too. Don't say 5, 7 like that. Those are versions. So how many types of OS we have? Two types, client and server. So whenever we install either client OS or server OS, by default, the machine will be in work group. So who will create the work group model? No one will create. Who will create the work group model? No one will create. Who will create the work group model? No one will create this model. So this work group model is created by default. This work group model is created by default. So in Windows, we have two types of OS, client and server. So whenever we install either server OS or client OS, by default, all the computers in Windows will be in work group model. So who will create the work group model? No one. It is created default. So from the work group model, if I create a user, from the work group machine, which is created by default, whenever we install server OS or client OS, by default, all the machines will be in workgroup model. So if I create a user from the workgroup machine, what we'll call that user? That user is called local user. Local user means in which machine that user is created. From that machine only that user can log in, not from the other machine. And here one computer will not have any control over other computer. All computers are independent. So from which machine you have created a user, in that machine, that user can log in, not from the other machine. So in workgroup model, if you create a user, that user is called local user. Local user means in which machine that user is created. In that machine only that user can log in. That user can log in from that machine only, not from the other machine. If you want that user to log in from other machine, you have to create the user in other machine also. Unless until you don't create, it cannot log in. So in Windows, we have two types of OS, server and client. So whenever we install either server OS or client OS, by default, all the computers in Windows will be in workgroup model. So if you create a user in the workgroup model, that user is called local user. Why? Because in which machine that user is created, in that machine only that user can log in, not from the other machine. If that user log in from the other machine, if that user need to log in from the other machine, as an admin, we have to create the account of that user in other machine also. Okay, are you following up to this? So what is the disadvantage in workgroup model? We will discuss now. That is the reason no company uses workgroup model. No company anywhere in the world uses workgroup model. So who will create the workgroup model? No one will create. By default, all the Windows machine, whether it is with server OS or client OS, will be by default in workgroup model. Yes. So if you create a user from workgroup model, which user will be created? Local user. So local user means in which machine that user is created. From that machine only that user can log in, not from the other machine. If you want that user to log in another machine, you have to create the user again in that machine. So can I go to the next slide to show you the disadvantage of workgroup model? That is the reason no company uses workgroup model. Okay. Domain model we'll see tomorrow. I'm not saying anything about domain model today. So to overcome the problem of the workgroup model, we go for domain model. Now, here, 4 different machines are there with 4 different OS. XP is a client OS, yes. So if you install the client OS also, this machine will be in workgroup. Here, Windows 2003, it is a server OS. By default, it will be also again in workgroup machine. Here, 2000 is also a server OS. So by default, this also in workgroup. Windows NT, before 2000, the server operating system was ENT. So this is also server OS. So this is a workgroup machine. So when we install either client OS or server, by default, all the machines in Windows will be in workgroup machine. So if I create a user from the workgroup machine, which type of user will be created? Local user. So from computer 1, user 1 is created. Who will create the user account? Only admin. So employee 1 or user 1 is logging here. User 2 from computer 3. Sorry, computer 2. User 3 from computer 3. User 4 from computer 4. 4 users, 4 computer. 4 account created in 4 machines. So now all these machines, all these machines is in workgroup model. Okay, yes. So if you create a user from workgroup machine, what we will call that user? Local user. In which machine it is created? In that machine only that user can log in, not from the other machine. Now, let us see here. Now here, whose account is created? User 1. So my slide got crashed. Just a minute. Okay, so now here in the work group model, now here, which user is created here? Which user is created here? User one. So if you create a user from the work group model, which type of user will be created? Local user. Local user means which user is created in which machine. That user can log in from that machine only. Provided the username and password both should be correct. Security is there in workgroup model also. If you give username wrong or password wrong, will it allow to log in? No. So in the workgroup model, the authentication in the workgroup model takes place through. So here, so in the workgroup model, the authentication means username and password. So in the workgroup model, for the local user, authentication takes place. In workgroup model, the authentication means username and password will be checked through uh, authentication here takes place through what? A protocol. So what is the protocol it uses? The authentication here takes place through NTLM protocol. Which protocol? NTLM. What is the full form of NTLM? NTLM full form, new technology. Yes, the LAN manager, very nice. So here authentication takes place through the NTLM protocol in workgroup model. So this NTLM protocol will check this authentication will check username and password is correct or not. Where it will check? In the user database file. So the authentication here of the username and password will be checked by NTLM protocol. But where it will check? In the SAM. What is SAM here? SAM is a user database file where once the administrator in workgroup model create the user, the username and password will be stored where in the database file. So the database file name is SAM. SAM full form. Yes, okay, because my voice is okay for others. Now, is it fine? Okay. So shall I continue then? Okay. So I said this NTLM protocol, the NTLM protocol will check in workgroup model the username, sorry, username and password is correct or not when the user try to log in. So user has to give the username and password. So NTLM protocol will check the username and password given by the person who is trying to log in is correct or not. Who will check? NTLM protocol will check. Where it will check? In SAM. SAM full form, SAM full form is Security Account Manager. Security Account Manager. So this is the SAM file where user information will be stored. So NTLM protocol, whenever it is a user try to log in, so SAM protocol, in the SAM protocol, NTLM protocol will check in the SAM file, the username and password given is correct or not. If it is correct, the user can log in. If it is not correct, the user cannot log in. So this is the security you have. So we should know what is the location of the SAM file. So the location of the SAM file is, so to check this SAM file, we have to go to the C drive, Windows, C drive, Windows folder, then System32. If you go to the System32 file, you will find their config file. There you can find SAM file. So this is the location. Please remember, in workgroup model, this is the location where user name and password will be stored. So in workgroup model, whenever a user try to log in, once he give the username and password, so NTLM protocol will check that username and password is correct or not in SAM database file. So if it is correct, it will allow that user to log in. If it is not correct, it will not allow. Access will be denied. So now see here. So shall I wait? If anybody want to note it down, these 2 points, you can note it down. Otherwise, if you are done, or you can manage from the recording means, I'll move to the next slide. Okay. Now the username and password is matching in the database. So which database? SAM database file. So user can log in. Yes, user 1 has logged in. Now the user 2 is trying to log in. Now the user 2 is trying to log in. Can he log in? In system 1, user 2 is trying to log in. His account is created? No. So will it allow to log in? Tell me. Will it able to log in? No. Because that account is not created there. Now user 1 can log in because his account is there and username and password is matching. But from that same machine now, which user is trying to log in? U2. Whether U2 account is there here in computer 1, U2 account is there? No. So can he log in? Now he is given the username and password. So is it existing there in the SAM database file? No. So that user can log in? No. User cannot log in. But now that same user trying to log in from system 2. Now the user 2 can log in from computer 2. Tell me, yes or no. Can he log in or can't? Yes, can log in because the account is there. But for that, username and password should be correct. So just if you give username correct, password wrong, it will not allow. So it will check in the SAM database file with the NTLM protocol. If it is correct, that user can log in. Now user 1 can log in from system 2. Now the user 2 can log in from system 2, yes. But now the system 1, sorry, user 1 can log in from system 2. User 1 from system 2 can log in. Here, see it, user 1 trying to log in from computer 2. Will it able to log in? Yes or no? Tell me. The answer is no. Somebody says yes. Why it will log in? You have to see the account is there. That's what I said. Local user means in which machine that user is created, in that machine only that user can log in. So account is there? No. So here user 2 was logged in computer 1? No, because his account was not there. Now user 2 is logged in computer 2 because his account is there. Now user 1 is trying to log in from system 2. Can it log in? So those people who says, yes, you please see here, can it log in? No, because it
Sorry
will
for
try to
interruption,
see the,
but your
yes.
voice is still distorting, sir. It is not clear.
See, when I'm moving, I'm asking, so whether my voice is not okay from others also, I should get the confirmation, because sometimes what happens, it might be a problem from your end. If others able to hear me properly, I'll just check. If others can able to hear me properly, see here. So maybe the issue from your end. Please check your device or your network, that is internet connectivity.
Okay, sir.
Do you able to hear me? Okay, fine. So now user 1 can log in from the computer 1. Sorry, user 1 can log in from computer 2. Tell me, yes or no? User 1 can log in from computer 2. No, his account is not there. Maybe the username is correct, password is correct, but it is there in the database. Is it created there? No. So will it allow to log in? Will it allow to log in? No. So this is the problem in the work group model. Now my company want any user to log in from any computer. Now what you will do? They want whichever user comes in, whichever machine is free, they should be able to log in. So this is what they will use in real time. Whichever machine is free, anyone can log in from any machine. So now here the company said, I want such setup. You are a admin. What you will do? You want any user to log in from any machine. What you will do? Yes. Now I want any user to log in from any machine. I have 4 users. I want 4 users to log in from 4 machine, any user. What should I do? What should I do? Yes, Sudhir Kumar is right. Create all the 4 users in 4 machines. So if I want any user to log in from any machine means, as administrator, I need to create all the users in all the machines. All the users in all the machines. So in the workgroup model, do you have any server? Apsa, do you have any server? There is no server, no client. Then who will manage? That is the problem with the workgroup model. Now I have created 4 users in 4 machines. 4 users, 4 machines. So total, how many systems are there? How many systems? 4. How many users? 4. So total, how many account I created? Tell me. Total, how many account I created here? Yes, 4 into 4, 16. So if it is a 4 employees, 4 system, I can create 4 users. It is not a problem. But in the company, do you have only 4 machines? In the companies, do you have only 4 machines? No. So let The logic is there. No, you see the logic and tell me. That's it. Already we have done here for 4 users. I'm asking for 100. How many accounts we have to create? Use simple mathematics. Yes, anyone? Hmm. No, no. Yes, Shashank is right. Somebody says 50. How it is 50? 100 into 100. So 100 into 100, how much? 10,000. Are you following everyone? So now if your company is having 100 employees, 100 systems, so how many total account you have to create? 100 into 100, 10,000. So will you create that many accounts? Will you create that many accounts? If one user left, you have to remove the account for one user, 100 machine. Now the company said, one user you restrict the Internet Explorer. So you have to restrict for one user for all 100 machine you have to do same task. So are you following? This is the disadvantage in work group model. So what is the disadvantage in work group model? Everything has to be done in every machine. And for one user, you have to do everything in every machine. If one user left the company, you have to, like here, for one user, you are creating the user account in all machine. Same way, if he left, you have to delete his account from all machine. If the company said one user should be blocked with the Internet Explorer, you have to do that same task for one user in all machine. So that is the problem in the work group model. Everything has to be done in every machine. So that is the reason no company uses the work group model. Are you following what I'm trying to say? Now, if I don't want to create 10,000 user account, I have 100 users, 100 system. I want to create only 100 users. And I want any user to log in from any machine. Will it be possible? Yes. How it will be possible? I'm giving you the hint. Without creating 10,000 user account, for 100 users, I want to create 100 users only. And I want any user to log in from any machine. Will it be possible? Yes. How? Yes, that is the domain model. So who has to create the domain model? Administrator. Workgroup model, who will create? No one will create. It will be created default. But domain model has to be created. So how to create the domain model? We'll see tomorrow. I hope now you are understanding why the workgroup is not used in any company. Workgroup, by default, all the companies is workgroup. But why the companies are not using the workgroup model? Because everything has to be done in every machine by the administrator. For everything has to be done in every machine. So to avoid that, we have a domain model. So domain model is exactly opposite. Everything has to be done in domain model only in one machine. And that effect will be there in all the machine. In workgroup model, everything has to be done by admin in every machine. Whereas in domain model, everything has to be done by administrator only in one machine. So if you are an administrator, you like to work in workgroup model or domain model? Tell me if you are given the option. Workgroup is better or domain is better? Domain, because it is a one-time job there. Here, every day, every time, same thing. One task you are doing means in workgroup model, everything you have to do in every machine. So that's why no company uses workgroup model, only domain model. So domain model, how to create, we'll see tomorrow. But today, we will see whether when we install few days back, that is on our first day, we install the OS. Which OS we have installed? Server OS or client OS? Second day, I think. Yes, Saturday we have installed the OS. So I install server OS or client OS. This course, MCSE, is based on server. Yes, through the VMware, not directly. There is no difference between physical machine and virtual machine. We can use our resources quite well without disturbing. That's why we are using the VMware virtualization. Yes, server OS. So it will be work group model or by default it will be in work group or domain model when we install the server OS. So by default it will be in work group model or domain model. Yeah, after discussing this much also still you are saying, what answer you are saying? Some people are saying domain model. Whether this answer is correct? What I said today, just now in the slide, when you install the server OS or client OS, by default, all the machines will be, see here, all the machine, whether it is with server OS or client OS, they will be in work group. Then why you are saying domain model? Domain model can be created on server OS, not on client OS. But by default, it will be in work group. Yes. So now I'll show you. Now I'll show you whether it is in the work group or not. So before I forget, please remember, you can ping to my WhatsApp or to my mail ID. Better you do it on the WhatsApp so that it will be easier for me to send the practical step file. So I think today the people who joined for the session, they all made the payment. I got the list also. So this is my mail ID. So either you ping to my mail ID or to WhatsApp number. I think it is convenient because some people are from outside India also. So I'm giving my WhatsApp number with country code. So this is my WhatsApp number. So just ping to my WhatsApp number, writing that you need MCSE practical file, or you just write you are from 4 p.m. MCSE batch. I can understand. I'll send you the this Linux, sorry, this MCSE practical step file, in which all the links, VMware link, OS link, the practical from first day to last day, everything is there. Now see here, today we will do one small practical. Today is the last day where you will have short practical. From tomorrow onwards, lengthy practicals will be there. So today we have to check our machine is in work group or not. If it is in work group, if you create a user, which user will be created? Local user. So to create the local user, you have two options. In search, you write computer management, go to the local user, or open the run command, type LUSR MGR local user manager.msc Microsoft console. Then go to the user, create the user. Minimum password 7 character. If you want to give more than 7, you can give. Default age is 42. Then by default, only one icons will remain. So you can give the icons. So this much practical only today. So anyhow, I'll be giving you this file in which everything I have written with heading. And tomorrow onwards, you will have lengthy practical, how to make the domain model. So this file I'll be sending you. Now let's start with the practical, very short and simple practical. After that, we wind up the session. So first I'll show you. This is the machine I have installed. So first you create it. First you install the VMware. I given you the link. After that, you create, you download also the ISO image of the 2012 or 16, which I have given to you. Then after that, what you have to do, create a virtual machine and do the installation, which I have shown you Saturday. Now, once the machine is ready, you power on. It will appear like this. So how to log in your physical machine? you can press Alt Control Delete. But we are doing through the VMware. So for that, the small change is there. Just to press Alt Control instead of delete, you press Alt Control Insert. Yes, our friend Irfan is saying same Alt Control Insert. Now you can give the password what you have given at the time of installation. I told you you can use your name at the rate 123. Now, first thing what you have to do here, how many icons you are getting? One. And whenever you log in with any user in 2012 onwards, by default, this console will come, which is called Server Manager Console or Dashboard. So this console, tomorrow onwards, we will use it. So today, just to close this console. Now, first thing what you have to do, get the full screen. That will appear little bit better. So how to get the full screen? Right click here, go to the screen resolution, right click, go to the screen resolution. Now here, click on the resolution, increase the one number and check it, your size. In my laptop, I have checked this size is working. So you go from lower to higher, little bit, till you get the full size. Okay, keep these changes. Got the full size? Yes. Now, second thing you have to do is get the icons. Default in 2012 onwards, only one icon they enabled. But we want all our normal icons. So how to get it? Press Windows key. Press Windows key. In the search, you write icons. Then after pressing the icons, you will get here show or hide icons on the desktop. Click on that. Check all the boxes. So now you got the full screen, you got the icons. What is our first practical? First thing you have to do, check this machine is with server OS or client OS. How to check it? Go to the PC or computer, right click properties. So here, this machine is with server OS. So here, my machine status is what? Workgroup. So when we install the server OS or client OS, it will be in workgroup. See here. If you want to check, this is my Windows 10, my physical machine. Server, it is a client OS. Windows 10 is a client OS. Still it is in workgroup. So you either install the server OS, either you install the server OS or client OS. By default in Windows, server OS and client OS comes under workgroup. Is it clear? Is it clear to everyone? Okay. Now, if I create a user from workgroup, which user will be created? Local user. So how to create a local user? You see, I'm showing you twice. So you can use any option. So first to press the Windows key. Here in the search, you can just write computer. So you'll get computer management. Click on computer management. Press the Windows key. In search, you write computer. Go to the computer management. Can you find here the option? Can you find here the option? Local user and group? Yes. Expand this. No, here two options are there, user and group. So what you want to create? User. So select the user. So which user will be created from the workgroup model? Local user. Select the user, right click, new user. So you can write any name of your choice, username and full name. Description not required. And here, if I give 4 letter, it will not accept. See here, minimum 7 character. See it's saying, check the minimum password length, password complexity. So it will not allow you to create the user unless until you give 7 character. And in that 7 character also, alphabet, number, special character should be there. You can give more than 7 also, but less than 7, it will not accept. So what is the box here? Default checked. User must change the password next login. By default, that option is there. So once you create like this, the user, now user is created. How to log out? I given the username and password. Then to log in with that user, log out with the administrator. How? Press Alt Control Insert key. Alt Control Insert key, sign out. To log in as a user, Alt Control Insert again. Now what user you have created, it will appear here. In my case, Krishna. Then I given some password. Now after that, it will automatically ask you to change the password because that box was checked. So in the real time, this concept is used. Administrator will create the account with the username and some simple password he'll tell to the user. So once the user log in first time, he has to change the password, which he can remember easily and which he will be knowing. Even the administrator will not be knowing this. So he can change his password to his. Now he logged in. So here also one icon. How to get the other icons? Press same. Windows key, insert you right icons. Go to show or hide icons. Check the boxes. Yes, user is logged in. Yes. Now how to log out here? Alt Control Insert, sign out. Now how to log in as administrator? Again, Alt Control Insert. Now click on administrator to log in. Now give administrator password. Now I'll show you last how to create a user one more time. Local user, this time from the run command. So press Windows R. In run command, you write LUSR. In Windows, in run command, you write LUSR. Don't write USER. LUSR means local user. MGR manager.msc Microsoft console. Directly will come here. Select the user, new user you create. Select the user, right click, new user. You can give any name of your choice. Then password, minimum 7 character. Now, if you don't want the user to change the password, you can just uncheck this box. So user will not able to change the password. Or user don't have to change the password compulsory. If you check this, user can't change the password. Don't check that box. If you check this, the default age is 42 days. Even after 42 days, same password will work. If you check this box. If you check this box, the account will be disabled. User can't log in. So I just uncheck the box, create. Now it will not ask me to change the user when I log in. How to log out? First, Alt Control Insert, sign out. Again to log in, Alt Control Insert. Now click on Sign User. The password which I gave. Now is it asking to change the password? No. Because that box was unchecked. Again get the icons, press the Windows key, insert your right icons. Show or hide icons. Check the boxes. Over. To log out, Alt Control Insert, sign out. And if you want to close the machine, click on the cross mark of the VMware, power off. When you want to power on, open the VMware, click on the OS, power on. So with this, we are done with today's session. So tomorrow onwards, we will work on the domain model. And tomorrow onwards, we'll have lengthy and multiple practicals. So if you have any questions, any doubt, please ask me before I close the session. Yes, anyone?
Sir,
Yes.
this is Irfan. I have a doubt,
Yes.
sir.
Yes.
Sir, for example, we have 4 computers, right? We connect
Hmm.
them to the switch. My doubt is, for suppose we have 4 computers, we'll take computer 1 and computer 2 on the left, right? We'll connect those both switches to one switch. And on the right, we have another 2 computers, and we'll connect it individually to another switch. So can the 2 switches be connected? Is this possible?
Yes, I told you, no, you have to take one cable.
Okay.
One port of this cable should be connected to the empty port of the other switch.
Okay.
So they will be in the series, so they will get connected.
Okay,
So
sir.
now these 4 computers can communicate.
Sure. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay, so can I close the session? So please ping to my mail ID or WhatsApp. I'll be sending you the practical step file. That's it for today. Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow. I'm closing the session.